Cut out the noise. Get mission done. Graduate. Don't use your money for play money. It's study money. Preach. Give me a band. And so that's eventually Richard Nixon appointed him to a position in Washington. And he brought me to Washington. And that's how I was able to advise eventually 3 presidents. All I'm telling you is, you got to make a conscious, deliberate decision that you cannot use whatever adversity you have had as an excuse for not surviving and thriving through education. Increase your word power. Here are a couple of good, solid pieces. I'm going to talk very fast. We don't have a lot of time, but they are winning formulas. This book that I wrote has my story, but it also has 10 specific strategies, especially for first-generation students, so they graduate from high school and college. And this is very, very practical. Dr. Jerry Lewis from the University of Maryland has endorsed, he said this is the best book he has ever read, the best guide he has ever read to get first-generation students through. So if you're black and brown and yellow and red and white and male, especially, this is how you get it done. It is better to know what type of students have failed a course than what kind of a course a student has failed. So don't tell me that the students fail English or math. What I need to know is that a first-generation student? Because if it's a first-generation student, you can't know what you haven't been taught.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
So you got to be, if it's somebody who knows and they're not doing it, that's a very different kind of thing. The single most important factor, and one of the things that you may want to consider in the future is, how do you educate first-generation college students to thrive and excel through education? And remember, a lot of our students just simply don't know how to study. The pathways to success must be fostered and invented. The reason why you need to do this on an annual basis is because you got to invent new things. Just because you know math doesn't mean you know how to teach me math. Just because you know English doesn't mean that you know how to teach me English. I got to understand, you got to get in my face like Mary Yamasaki did. And she says, son, you're not joining anything. And here's a formula. And if you don't think you have enough time, here's a pie chart of your time. And this is what a dictionary does. And she was able to give me direction. But you got to be open to receiving direction. Number 2, we have to talk about additional competencies. You know, I was talking to my dear friend brought me his girlfriend. He's dating and he's trying to get married again. Anyway, and she's got a 10-year-old little girl. So they came to Chicago from Milwaukee. And I took that little girl aside. And I said, I want you to look at me, Andrea. I'm an old man. But I am a male. And you're a little girl. And this is a big house. And Tony and I are like brothers. And I would like to help you because your mom doesn't have formal education. And I'd like you to get formal education. So from time to time I'm going to talk to you, but I want you to look me in the eye. I said, I want you to know you're a young lady. I want you to look at me in the eye. And I want you to know that you will never, never be in danger in my presence. And if your gut tells you that you don't trust me, that you feel a little queasy, you feel a little funny, flee. But I want you to know that if we were ever alone for any reason in our lives, because we're going to have a friendship that's going to last a lifetime, that you will always, always be safe. Your dignity and your humanity and your girlhood will always be protected in my presence. And she says, I trust you. But that's a competency. If you are a white, conservative, Republican, why should I trust you? The answer is because you are in conflict with certain things in the society that discriminate. So you and I may have different philosophies, but your philosophy can be anti-black, or anti-Hispanic, or anti-poor. You can't just be for your subject matter, you have to be for our total humanity. And that's what's going to get mission done. Give me a man.
Amen.